Swagatam. Let us start our class. Please sit straight. Close your eyes. Sit comfortably. Have a chin mudra in your hands. Take a deep breath in, breathe out. दीर्घ उच्छ्वासः once again. Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha Harihi Om. Om Gananaan Tva Ganapatigam Havamahe Kavim Kavinamupamashravastamam ज्येष्ठराजं ब्रह्मणां ब्रह्मणस्पत आनशृण्वन्नोतिभिः सीदसादनम् महागणपतये नमः। ॐ प्रणो देवी सरस्वती वाजेभिर्वाजिनीवती धीनामवित्र्यवतु आनो दिवो बृहतः पर्वतादा सरस्वती यजतागन्तु यज्ञम् वाग्देव्यै नमः। ॐ चोदयित्री सून्द्रतानां चेतन्ति सुमतीनां यज्ञं दधे सरस्वती। ॐ शान्तिः शान्तिः शान्तिः। Namaskara, Suprabhatam, all of you. Great to see you together in this one group, one frame also. Okay. Let us chant Mantra-Pushpam in the beginning, then we move on to the Artha Kathanam. How will start it? 2 lines each. Rekha Bhagini. Arabhata. Kuldeva.
ॐ योपां पुष्पं वेद पुष्पवान् प्रजावान् पशुमान् भवति
चन्द्रमा वा अपां पुष्पं पुष्पवान् प्रजावान् पशुमान् भवति
य एवं वेद योपामायतनं वेद
आयतनवान् भवति अग्निर्वा अपामायतनम्
आयतनवान् भवति यो अग्निरायतनं वेद आयतनवान् भवति
आपो वा अग्नेरायतनम् आयतनवान् भवति
य एवं वेद योपामायतनं वेद आयतनवान् भवति
वायुर्वा अपामायतनम्
आयतनवान् भवति आपो वै वायोरायतनम्
आयतनवान् भवति आपो वै वायोरायतनम्
आयतनवान् भवति य एवं वेद
योपामायतनं वेद आयतनवान् भवति
असौ वै तपन् अपामायतनम् आयतनवान् भवति
यो मुष्यतपत आयतनं वेद आयतनवान् भवति
आपो वा अमुष्यतपत आयतनम् आयतनवान् भवति
य एवं वेद योपामायतनं वेद आयतनवान् भवति
चन्द्रमा वा अपामायतनम् आयतनवान् भवति
यश्चन्द्रमस आयतनं वेद आयतनवान् भवति
यश्चन्द्रमस आयतनं वेद आयतनवान् आपो वै चन्द्रमस आयतनम् आयतनवान् भवति
य एवं वेद योपामायतनं वेद
आयतनवान् भवति नक्षत्राणि वा अपामायतनम्
आयतनवान् भवति यो नक्षत्राणामायतनं वेद
आयतनवान् भवति आपो वै नक्षत्राणामायतनम्
आयतनवान् भवति य एवं वेद
योपामायतनं वेद आयतनवान् भवति
आपो वै नक्षत्राणामायतनम्
पर्जन्यो वा
पर्जन्यो वा अपामायतनम् आयतनवान् भवति
यः पर्जन्यस्यायतनं वेद आयतनवान् भवति
आपो वै पर्जन्यस्यायतनम् आयतनवान् भवति
य एवं वेद योपामायतनं वेद
आयतनवान् भवति संवत्सरो वा अपामायतनम्
आयतनवान् भवति यः संवत्सरस्यायतनं वेद
आयतनवान् भवति आपो वै संवत्सरस्यायतनम्
आयतनवान् भवति य एवं वेद योऽप्सु नावं प्रतिष्ठितां वेद
प्रत्येव तिष्ठति। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति।
Wonderful. Somehow we completed. Nice. Have you ever thought why these kind of repetition? Ayatanavan bhavati comes 1,000 times. Why so? आपो वा अग्नेरायतनम् आपो वा नक्षत्राणाम् आयतनम् आपो वै संवत्सरस्य आयतनम्. Why so? And also the question arises, like, why it is called, why this particular mantra bhaga is called as a mantra pushpam? Any answers for this, Bhagini?
Could it be because it is we are actually praying to the elements? I mean, all the elements are here. There's Vayu, there's Agni. So is it because of it's like an offering to the elements, because they are the ones that actually sustain us, give us life.
Wonderful. So this is a underlying tattva that we want to talk about today. Before that, so I want to begin this session with 3 questions. There are very popular questions among us, among 7 billion people outside of this class. So if you go on the internet and you search it out, what's the most popular question among us human being is, what's the source of this creation itself is the most asked question. Okay. So we are trying to deal with that today with the help of MATRA-PUSHPAM. We'll also understand why this is called as a MATRA-PUSHPAM, the flower of all the mantras, and why it is kind of offered, why it is chanted in the last of in the end of this puja ritual, and many other questions like that. Okay. First and foremost, we have to understand why such variety of things are existed in the vast SRUSHTI. Okay, and why such complexity? Why does it even, where does it come from, all such creation? So if you literally look into this particular things, like what is Srishti and why such the variety and the vastness is there in the Srishti, and the whole vastness, the variety, where does it come from? So all questions are there in our mind always. So the mantra pushpam is particularly dealing with these kind of question by asking you some rudimentary questions like apo va agner ayatanam, tapannapa ayatanam, kind of this. I'll explain in the further things. As a spiritual seekers, we have to understand the source of this creation, then only our meditation or our contemplation will come to an end. That is what called as a moksha, or that is what called as a samadhi. No, so this is a very important thing to understand, at least by the knowledge. It's not just we are experiencing it, just by knowing it we kind of going that path or marching on that path to understand, to assimilate those kind of concepts in our life. It's possible even. The Vedas, as we understand, the Vedas are the primary source of knowledge for us. We don't understand why such vast variety of SRUSHTI is happening or happened already, why such all the human beings are so different from each other, why all the animals, all the things are created, why so different from us, why all of us having, even we look very same as a spiritual seekers, as a human beings, but we have a very different variety of gunas and many other things with each other. So something should be underlying tattva which is very same. That is what Chaitanya is. Okay, the Chaitanya is very much, the Chaitanya is that the same thing, the underlying tattva with all of us. Okay, being, non-being, many other these things. Okay, so this mantra pushpa particularly talk about that. Okay. And looking at mantra pushpa, I mean, you can have a multiple views or a perception towards mantra pushpa, as any such mantra can be clarified or can be interpreted in three ways. Okay, so what are the three ways? We understand that the adi bhautika drishti, adi atmika drishti, adi daivika drishti. Any such mantra can be interpreted or can be known by these three ways. Okay. The first one is Adi Bhautikam. What is that? Adi Bhautikam is a physical anatomy of a mantra. Where does it exist? What's the context that is happening? So all such knowledge is called Adi Bhautika Drishti of a mantra. Adi Daivika Drishti is Adi Daivika Drishti of this mantra is about the natural forces that we are talking in that mantra, in particular mantra, as our Rekha Bhagini told. So this is a narration of 5 elements. So this Drishti, this perception is called as a Adi Daivika perception of a mantra. Okay. And Adhyatmika perception or Adhyatmika Drishti of this mantra is to what I experience personally from this mantra is Adhyatmika. Okay, in terms of mantra, we understand mantra, what? The materialistic way of looking at a mantra is Adi Bhautikam. Okay, and the very force, the very energy that is expressed in this mantra, looking at them is Adi Daivikam. And how we experience those energies within ourselves is Adhyatmikam. That's the simplest way of expressing the meanings. Okay, let us understand these three ways, how these are expressed in the mantra pushpa. Okay, this is done. Okay, and before we get into mantra pushpam, we have to understand some concepts that are narrated in the Advaita Vedanta and many other shastras to understand this mantra pushpam, why it is so, why it is a narration, why it is a flower of all the Vedas. Okay, first and foremost, we have to understand this particular piece of mantra is also called mantra pushpam. There are many such mantras are also called as a mantra pushpam. For example, the Narayana Suktam. Narayana Suktam. In the end of any such rituals or a puja, we will chant the Narayana Upanishad or a Narayana Sukta first, then comes a mantra pushpam, Yopam Pushpam Veda. So there is some sort of relation between the Narayana Suktam and the mantra pushpam together. Okay, I'll come to that in a very near future. So the object of mantra pushpam is in the end of this mantra pushpa explanation or a chanting, we will be coming to know why such concept arises, that you have to chant these mantras in the end of the puja. What's a greatness, or what's a concept behind that? It is that. Then we also understand the prakaras, the classification of upasana. Okay, in terms of chanting mantra pushpa, we in a various part we don't have any logical expression for that. For example, I can give you the akasha. Here it comes tapan napa mayatanam. It in the vakya itself says that the water is a source of surya. The water which we see as a H2O is a source of surya. How does it happen? How can it be possible? It's not even possible for us to know logically. No, but the upasana comes into pitch in this kind of status where we don't think it as a logical expression or a construction. We just look into that as a upasana. Upasana is what? Upasana is a sublimation. That's all. Upasana, we kind of idealize the magnificent ideas in a very simple thing, in a very simple object or idea. For example, Salagrame Vishnu Drishti. What is Saligrama? Saligrama is a piece of rock where we are idealizing the magnificent idea of Vishnu and we are trying to worship in that particular piece of rock. This is called upasana. Okay, here we're talking about idealizing some magnificent ideas and trying to invoke or impose in a very simple idea, that is Surya. Okay, so we'll come to know very soon once again. And we also understand the deep understanding of this creation. Okay, in Advaita Vedanta, they say the creation itself is not begun, not happened. Okay, why such creation is visible to us is just an illusion for us. For an example, the sky is blue. Is sky is blue? No, it's just an illusion that we are seeing. It's just an what? In the same 8 year, we know that the sky is not blue, but we see. In the same way, we know the all such creation is just an illusion, but we see them, we deal with them, we converse with them. So that's a beauty of Vedanta. That's a beauty of the Maya, as per. So you will get some sort of Maya explanation in this mantra as well. Okay, and the important part of this mantra pushpam is to acknowledge we are the part of this Mahasrishti. This is a main thing and a very important thing. We always think we are the greatest human beings and we are very greatest and magnificent. These kind of words can be narrated for us, but we are just a speck of this universe. We are just a part of this universe. We have to understand that. Whatever we achieved, but we just a part of this universe. So that's an important thing to understand. So going further, as I told you, some concept of Vedanta we have to understand before we getting into the mantra pushpam. The first concept of this is Srushti Prakriya. Srushti Prakriya. The deep Srushti Prakriya or the concept of Srushti Prakriya lies like this. The first, the Brahma was alone. As we are alone in our house, Brahma was alone then. Then he wanted to become many. Prajaha srijeyeya. So he became many. Okay. Then he entered into human being, pathar, and many other things. So he became so. That's why the whole creation took place. That's how the Vedanta narrations. So now we understand. Now the scientific people or the scientists, they are saying some millions of years ago there was a big bang, and some mathematician would say there is a plutonium world. From that, the universe emerges, and many other theories are there. So while the creation is narrated, so what happened essentially is something became something. No. So black hole or a something which was nothing earlier, it became something after that. So Vedanta says no, it is not that. Something has become something is not at all a theory of creation. What is that? Brahma became Brahma, that's all. The whole universe, the concept of what? The existing bliss became existing bliss. Many, that's all. So then also the Brahma was alone. Right now also the Brahma is alone. Nothing else apart from Brahma. That's what the narration of Vedanta. So we don't see the Brahma everywhere, but Brahma sees or Brahma lays within ourselves as a underlying tattva. So Vedanta Drishti or Vedanta Drishti on a Srishti is very unique and very applicable. As we see, any such discrimination is happening just because of this. We are different and he is different, she is different. Okay, if Vedanta comes into the pitch, so nothing, the discriminatory factor itself gone. So in the beginning of this Srishti Prakriya, Brahma became Brahma, that's all. That's the end of the Srishti Prakriya. So now we come to Taittiriya Upanishad. Taittiriya Upanishad says the order of Srishti, order of creation. The first of all we see the Akasha Tattva. Akasha, it's not a sky anymore, space anymore, it's a Akasha Tattva. Okay, so Akasha Tattva is created as a first element. Then Akashad Vayuhu, Vayu Tattva has begun. Then Akashad Vayuhu, Vayoho Agnihi, Agnehe Apaha, Adbhyaha Prithivi. The whole science emerges like this. Akasha, from the Akasha there is a Vayu, Vayu, there is a Agni, Agnehe Apaha, the water, then the Prithivi. Okay, this is a order which is narrated in the Taittiriya Upanishad. So we as a generation, we understand we are the being who came from a water as a monocellular. The amoeba is our ancestor. So the complexity of us, our body is too much. So it has to have some beginning in the beginning. No, that is what they called as a monocellular system. That is amoeba. So from the amoeba we kind of evoluted. No, Bhagini. So Darwin, coming further, Darwin also says monkey became man, monkey became human being. So all such theories are there in front of us. So there is a confusion. Taittiriya Upanishad saying, I'm kind of comparing the ancient and the modern things to understand this whole thing easier. So the Taittiriya Upanishad is saying Akasha Dvayuhu, this Srishti Prakriya, and we are trying to say that the first comes a water. From the water there is a monocellular system, then the complexity arises, emerges. Okay, do you see the some difference in between the Srishti Prakriyas? Yes, no? So the first thing is a Akasha. Now we trying to say is it's a Apaha, water, H2O thing. So even this amoeba thing got explained here in the Upanishad, in the Chandogya Upanishad. They say idam apova idamasan salilameva. The way back then there was only the water pervaded, nothing else was there. Even this is narrated in the Chandogya Upanishad. Then there is a confusion. What's the first thing which is emerged from the Brahma? Is it a Akasha? Is it a water? Then we'll deal with this in a very near future. Okay, so this is the concept, the Mahasrishti, then Avantara Srishti. The Mahasrishti, which is from Akasha, takes a Srishti from the Akasha. The Avantara Srishti is from the water. The creation, all creation emerged from the water is a concept of Avantara Srishti. Then we get into the mantra itself. Now this mantra comes in a Taittiriya Upanishad, Taittiriya Aranyaka. Yajurveda, Taittiriya Aranyaka. The first chapter itself is a source of this mantra. The first chapter is called as a Aruna Prashna. Do we know what is Aruna? Aruna is another name for a sun. Or another name for a sun. The whole chapter, the first chapter of Taittiriya Aranyaka, they talk about the health, well-being of this whole body and the mind, and also they talk about multi-universe. Like there are 12 suns around the universe. As we have a solar system, we kind of recognize this as a sun. But they talk about 12 sun around the universe, and they name them. If at all there is a GV, how can that be existed on that particular planet? All such things are there in the Aruna Prashna, if you look that into deep enough. So then they also talk about many such rituals like a Shrauta Yagnas. Is it too fast? No? Can be understandable now, Bhagini? So Aruna Prashna, they also talk about many such rituals like a Shrauta Yagnas, Smarta Yagnas, and many. And there is a one Yagna that is called Aruna Ketuka Chayanam. Aruna Ketuka Chayanam. What does it mean? There is a Shrauta Yagna, as I told you, Aruna Ketuka Chayanam. We here, for that matter, any Shrauta Yagna, we kind of, there is a procedure of energizing all such elements that we use in particular yagna. Okay, the water, if it is used, then it has to be energized. Okay, if you are using or milking a cow, she has to be energized first. Okay, if you are the dampati, the ejamanas that they sit in a yagna, they participate in a yagna, they have to be energized from the mantras. There are particular certain mantras are there to energize them. So this is a process of energizing before we start up a yagna for any such Shrauta yagnas and Smarta yagnas. That's why we say the yagna is a most scientific methodology or a most scientific way of understanding we as a part of the universe. Okay, that's why in a starting of Mahayagna or a Yagna, there is the whole lot of procedure to understand or to acknowledge even. Okay, the first thing that we ever do is energize the water. Okay, and before that energizing water, there is a mantra just before your MATRA-PUSHPA, Yopam Pushpam Veda, there is a construction of Homa Kunda, the Homa place. Okay, that is called Ishtika Upadhanam. What does it mean? Ishtika Upadhanam. There has to be a construction to do a homa. So you are doing a construction by chanting a particular mantras. Okay, and energizing it. After that, you have to sprinkle the water around the mantra, around the homa, the Vedi, we call it as Vedi or a Homa Kunda. So you have to sprinkle a water and energize a place once again. Okay, the sprinkling of water, before the sprinkling of water, you have to energize the water itself, and this is a mantra for that, energizing of water. Okay, so to energize the water, you have to follow some sort of rituals. You have to appreciate the water first. Appreciate a water first. You are Indra, you are a Ganapati, and you are the source of this creation. Then it gets energized. No, it's the same way that Uma Bhagini, you are wonderful, you are so sort of thing. If I say you, what do you think? What do you think of me? Are Karthik Acharya, how he is wonderful. He always appreciate me. This kind of thing. Yes, this is the same way of saying it. It goes the same way with the water also. So in a first part of MATRA-PUSHPA, you kind of appreciate the water. You are the source of creation. You are the source of Surya. You are the source of Nakshatra. Even you are the source of Samvatsara. That means an indication of Kala, the time. Then the water thinks, oh, I am a Indra and Chandra. I am the source of this creation, then so I can be energized now. So water thinks so, then it is energized. So this is a way of doing a ritual. Okay. Then, so in that particular context, this mantra starts. Okay. Yopam Pushpam Veda. What does it mean? He who knows the source of water, or he who knows the source of water will be established within himself or herself is the meaning of first sentence. Yopam Pushpam Veda Pushpavan Prajavan Pashuman Bhavati. In result of understanding or acknowledging the source of water is something, will be established himself and having a what? Pushpavan, all comforts in a physical world. And Putrava, what's that? Prajavan. Prajavan will be having long lost progeny, unbroken progeny in a future. Then Pashuman, Pashu is a cattle. That means it's indicating all the materialistic comforts. One who understands, one who knows the source of water will be having all these comforts in a physical world. This is what? Once again, the appreciation, or once again, the results are what? Told in this particular sentences. So now we understand, if some upasana is being done here, if at all it is done, then the one who upasaka, one who is a seeker, one who is a doer of that upasana will be getting all these phalas as a result. Okay, it is just to, these phalas are narrated just to push sadhaka further in the Gnana Marga. Otherwise, all of us will drown in our own duties of our daily life. If something is somebody is getting higher possibility, then he will be motivated. Otherwise, no. Even Vedas understand this. So push is needed. So the Pashuman, what's that? Pushpavan, comforts, Prajavan, long lost progeny, then this Pashuman, all comforts, materialistic comforts once again. Cattles will be given or will be offered to the sadhaka. Now he is capable of knowing in going in the Gnana Marga. Okay, this is just a push or a motivation. Then the next comes, so what would be the source of water? The first question arises in the mind of sadhaka. Chandramava apam pushpam. Might Chandra be the source of the water? So here, Chandramava apam pushpam, Sayanacharya says, it's not a Chandra whom we see in the night time. He's not a Chandra, but it's about Chandra Mandala. So Chandra Mandalam hi, what? Amritamayam hi Chandra Mandalam, he says. What does it mean? Amritam is a water. The Chandra Mandala is full of water. So in a Vedantic perspective, the Chandra Mandala is called Pitraloka, where all the departed soul, they reach one certain point where they have all those comforts once again. Okay, they enjoy a lot, and they have a power to even give a boon to the human being or this procedure or his successors in the Bhuloka. That's a place is called Pitraloka. And the Pitraloka is called as a Chandramandalam. The Chandramandalam is full of water. Is full of water. Once again, the appreciation. Full of water. Then, oh, I know. Then the Chandramandala is a source of water. No. Chandramandala is not a source of water, because the water which is creating Chandramandala is a source of Chandramandala. Not at all a Chandramandala. So this conversation just follows, followed by many other conversation that you will see in very few minutes. See, and the next conversation starts as, what's the next one? Agnirva apamayatanam. Agnirva apamayatanam. What does it mean? Once again, Agnihi, the fire we see in a Bhuloka. that would be the source of water. Is it so? He who knows the Agni is a source of water will be established. Ayatanavan bhavati. Apo va agne rayatanam. No, before that. Yo agne rayatanam Veda. He who knows the fire is a source of water will be established once again. Ayatanavan bhavati. Then the conclusion is Apo va agne rayatanam. This water is a source of Agni, not a Agni is a source of water, just a ulta. And we have to understand this is in terms of the upasana. In terms of upasana, the whole magnificent idea is kind of imposed on a Agni enough, just for a upasana purpose. Then it followed by many other conversations like next one. Agnir Vayurva Apa Mayatanam. Is a Vayu is a source of Agni? Is a Vayu is a source of water? He who knows this, he will be established once again. But the conclusion is the water is a source for the Vayu. Vayu is the wind. The purpose of Upasana once again should be understood here. Then it continues till the Samvatsara. Okay. And before that, the Vayurva Apa Mayatanam, why does it so? Even why this came to his mind of the seeker? Because we understand the water is a combination of two elements, H2O, hydrogen, then the oxygen, two elements, and those are the Vayus, the components of Vayus. No, so that's why there is a kind of samshaya, there is a doubt. Oh, mostly the Vayu is a source of the water, H2O. Not that so. The fact is the hydrogens and the oxygens are all over the SRUSHTI, all over the universe, but all of them are not the water. The combination which happens only because there is a sankalpa of that divinity. The sankalpa of the higher possibility, that is God. If the sankalpa is there, then these two elements come together and becomes a water. That's why the apaha, which we are doing a worship on, is a sankalpa, is a higher possibility, is a source of what? Is a source of vayu, is a source of nakshatra, is a source of samvatsara. Why even think of nakshatra is a source of water? In a Jyotishyam, they say the Ashlesha nakshatra and the Pushya nakshatra are the cause of water, are the cause of rain. No? If you go to some Jyotishi, they may say that, so today is a Pushya nakshatra, yesterday it was. So then it was a heavy rain in a Bangalore and many other places. Okay, because we understand the Pushya nakshatra and the Ashlesha nakshatras are the cause of having a rain. Then we will be naturally thinking that, oh, maybe the nakshatras are the cause of the water in terms of rain. It is not so. Once again, the apaha is a source of nakshatra also. Okay, this is kind of upasana once again. Then comes a parjanya. What is parjanya? Parjanya is a cloud. Of course, we see the clouds are the source of the rain. Because of the cloud, we are having a rain here on the planet. But yes, once again, for the purpose of upasana, we kind of subliming it, imposing the thing on the parjanya also. Then the last comes as a samvatsara. Samvatsarova apa mayatanam. Samvatsara is kind of symbolically said as a time. So we kind of refer the time in all Devata Tattvas. Do you understand? The Mahakala is for a time. So he's a time of the time. Okay. Then, so the ultimate, the process, the ultimate, the cause for all creation is just a time. That's all. As we understand, the whole creation is just a play of time and energy. So manifestation, if happens, it is happened already, is just a leela or a sport of the time and energy. And that's all. Then we understand, oh, time would be the source of water. Then the last that said, he who understands the source of time is also the water, he'll be established within himself, and he'll be getting all such comforts in the materialistic world and progeny and the cattle. This is what Adi Daivika Drishti. This is a first fold of it. The first fold always recognizes or always stands with the upasana. It is not that, so logically we can prove all such the arguments here I told. No such thing. But the upasana can be done. The small piece of rock can be seen as a Mahavishnu. It's possible. We go to the temple, we see some idol, we kind of recognize that idol as some sort of the higher possibility. It is a upasana. Okay. The result of upasana is a udatikarana of our manas, the sublimation of our own manas. It's needed in this era. It's very much needed in our life. The upasana is needed. Just to understand we are just the speck of this universe, and to sublime all other things as the whole, the higher possibility. Okay. And the next step of understanding a mantra pushpam is adhyatmikam. Adhyatmika level of understanding, the layer of understanding a mantra pushpa. Okay. So adhyatmikam is, as I told you, how you experience within by chanting, by hearing these mantras is adhyatmika. That's all. Okay. And also there is a kind of sublimation attached to this also, the upasana attached to this, that is like this. Yopam ayatanam Veda, he who knows the source of all creation is water. Water here is not just an H2O, it's a primordial water. It's a source of all creation. Even the Shankaracharya somewhere in narrating the apaha, somewhere in the Taittiriya Upanishad, he says the dhatu for apaha is apalru vyaptau. That means the element which pervading all the creation or all the place is water or apaha. So I always say apaha can't be translated as a water, because apaha has this huge the meaning behind it. So what is apaha in terms of adhyatmika? Adhyatmika, in terms of adhyatmika, water or apaha is all pervading tattva, is apaha. The dhatu of it is apalr vyaptau. Vyaptihi is pervading. Okay. Now you can understand the whole lot of things that we are discussing about. The first we discussed about Chandra, then the Agni, then the Apaha, then the Vayuhu, then comes a Parjanya. Parjanya is a cloud, then the Nakshatrani are the stars, and the time, the lastly. So all are just blossoms of the potency, the higher potency. No, the just understanding the Kala or the Chandra that we see in the sky is a blossom of that higher potency, is a upasana, is a gnana marga once again. Okay, understanding your own manas is the blossom of the higher possibility, is a wonderful thing to do. Even the Kala Samvatsara is just a blossom. Yes, is just a blossom of higher potency, is a upasana once again. So one who understands the whole lot of creation as just a blossom of the higher potency is a Brahma, will be established, will be having all these phalas, all these results in back. So this is a kind of superficial meaning of Mantra Pushpa. So we have 5 to 7 minutes. Do we have any questions regarding Mantra Pushpa, or this thing we can ask it out?
Yes, what did you say the meaning of samvatsara is? Samvatsaro is
So symbolically said the construction. See, that is a poetic way of expressing the time.
time.
Even the nakshatrani are the poetic expressions of even the time, or we talk about the stars, astrology. So it comes near to the Jyotisha Shastram itself. Okay. Whatever we see, the conclusion is whatever we see on a planet, or standing on a planet, is a blossom of the higher possibility, that's all. So that's a main core of this mantra pushpa. So in the end of puja, we have to recognize, we have to understand, so all that the multi variety of this whole universe is created, the whole lot of things are there, is just a blossom of this particular idol, or this particular tattva which I am worshipping right now. Okay. That's why we are chanting this mantra pushpa in the end of the puja. Puja is what? Puja is recognizing yourself with the higher possibility. Okay, that Shankaracharya gave a wonderful word as a manasa puja. So we don't have to have a physical flower, physical akshata, and physical naivedyam and all. So this is what about manasa puja. We have to offer our manas to the God. That's all. That means this is a process of understanding our manas is just a blossom of the tattva that we are worshipping, in the name of Ganapati, in the name of Narasimha, and many other. So in the end, as a conclusion, we chant the mantra pushpam in these kind of emotions, in these kind of interpretation. Then that will bear the phala of acknowledging yourself as a part, as a parcel of this whole creation. That's all is needed.
Acharyaji, ritualistically, this one is just chanted at the end of the puja, because I've seen many times people holding flower and chanting.
It is just a gesture, Bhagini. It's an indication that you hold a flower in your hand. Is that full of flower? It's just a representation of you're offering something to the God. No. So what you should offer as an adhyatmika view, you should offer your own manas, your own prana, your own all that what you have, what you acquire. So whatever you have, you just offer to the God. By knowing yourself as just a part and parcel of this universe. So that's all is needed. I hope you understood why we are chanting this in the end of this puja. Astu. Harihi Om Shri Krishnarpanamastu. Dhanyawada.
ಧನ್ಯವಾದ. ಥ್ಯಾಂಕ್ ಯು.